I found that the process of getting to the actual production of the play was very interesting, because I didn't expect that my play would be edited quite as much. And I enjoyed the process. I was working with a very accomplished and very bright young woman, Helen Perry, from the BBC. She directed the play in production. And you know, she would say, well, these are the judges' comments. And I would look at the recommendations, and I'd say, okay. She says, we just have a few recommendations. And when the list came, it was pages long. And I said, oh, did they really like the play? But the process of editing it was wonderful. It was good for me as a writer. And it just shows that you really have to be, I think humility will take you a far way as a writer, because what it does, it gives you the ability to see through what other people are seeing of your work, and not just your own ego saying, well, you know, I can write and I know what I want. Because ultimately you have to remember that you have an audience, hopefully, who will hear or see this work. So really it's not only about you, it has to be about what that audience is going to receive, what message that audience is going to get from your work. So when you can have an impartial critic look at your work and say, well, you know, I really like it, but I think it would be even better if this happened. You know, it gives you another perspective to think about. And you know, if you're smart enough, you will take some of that direction. Even if you don't agree with some of the cuts, you know, I think my work is much better now. And I really respect the fact that, you know, I was given that opportunity to have that critique. I think to be able to critique yourself it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. But as I said, I think you need to look through sometimes even the eyes of the character and say, well, how would this person have said this? Is this real? Are you just layering on top of this person what you want them to say? Or is this what that girl or boy or man or woman would have felt in a situation like that? Now, the answer is not always going to come, obviously, because you're not going to know everything. I think when you read other people's work, that's really very important. I think that's probably one of the best things to do as a writer, is to just read other people's work, and see how characters are built, you know, see how the story takes you in and why it takes you in, and then you can look at your own work and say, well, is my story doing that? You know, is my story taking me where I want to go, like how the other person's work has done? You're not going to mirror what they have done, but at least it gives you a feel for your own work, you know. I think that's very challenging, this self-critique thing. It's not something that I would recommend. I think somebody else needs to read your work, you know, if it's even just to get a feel for it, even if, you know.